Hey, Hykiri Nation. Welcome to episode 7 Wrestling with Hykiri. We'll discuss all the things happening in wrestling today. First off, we're going to start off with the passing of Scott Hall, also known as Razor Ramon, from way back in the 90s. If you're a WWE fan or a WCW fan, Scott Hall was single handedly one of the two people involved in creating one of the most popular factions in wrestling history, the NWO. Sadly, he had 3 heart attacks and died in the hospital. But Scott Hall was a good wrestler. And at least he died. He passed away and he was clean. And he had a few good years left in his life before he is done. But a lot of wrestling fans are still going to feel the impact of one of the things Scott Hall did for the business because he made so many people who they are what they are today. Just being behind the scenes. Guys like Kevin Owens and Austin Theory and Von Breaker and all these guys you watch now. Scott Hall influenced their career so much. So, a lot of the guys that, from that era are still around, like Stone Cold, The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, all these guys know firsthand how much Scott Hall did and gave to the business. So it's sad to see him go, but it was cool actually to meet him one time a few years ago. Having money, we was being having money raised with Diamond Dallas Page. His hip surgery, I donated money and received a Skype call from Scott Hall. Super, super awesome moment that I'll never ever forget. But now he's gone. But I feel like WWE is gonna have like a huge tribute or something to him at WrestleMania. I'm sure the other wrestlers there are gonna mention him in their speeches when they're being inducted, especially the Undertaker because they were close behind the scenes. So yeah, there's that. But speaking of Kevin Owens, on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, Kevin Owens had a match against Seth Rollins where if KO lost, Seth Rollins would take up his place against Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. But it still blows my mind because nobody has really said if Kevin Owens Stone Cold match is going to be an actual wrestling match or a segment or what. And now I'm starting to think that it is going to be a segment where Stone Cold beats up Kevin Owens. And it's kind of lame because if you're doing a 3 day show, NXT is 1 day short. But if WrestleMania, the big show, is 2 days long, you have more than enough room to put Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins in matches to WrestleMania. And they're two of the biggest wrestlers. So not having them on the card makes zero sense. I don't know what the idea is here. Hopefully WWE does not make us have a WrestleMania without Seth Rollins wrestling and without KO wrestling. And even if this isn't a wrestling match, I don't know what it proves. The whole point would be. If it is a wrestling match, I still don't know what the point of it is. If KO wins, which is highly unlikely, it pushes careers. But if Stone Cold wins, I don't really see the benefit. If he has KO, but I don't run the company. Right? Go to AEW. We started one of the most predictable feuds in this company's history. So Warlow having a feud with MJF and Warlow suffered another loss because of MJF, what makes no sense is that you have MJF being the only one to beat CM Punk. You don't go into the feud. You're pushing Warlow, and now you're gonna have Warlow job out to MJF a few times, or I did a few times because of MJF, but ultimately Warlow will win, and MJF will lose for whatever reason. So feud makes no sense. Or the feud makes sense, I guess. Everybody's been watching it and waiting for it for the last year or whatever. But it serves no purpose at the time right now. You should have did it earlier or a bit later because now you're just wasting talent and wasting storylines. But whatever, AEW. Next up, you have the Hardy Boys team are reteaming and back in AEW as they go on to face another tag team this week. And the Hardy Boys, they're pretty good as a team. Kind of same old, but you normally get with the Hardys. The match maybe a little bit slower than we used to because they're a little bit older now. But I still think the Hardy Boys are just going to be used as to push other talent. They may see a title reign. It won't be long. When they receive a push, it won't be long. Because I feel like without Jeff Hardy, they don't know what to do with Matt Hardy. Without Matt Hardy, they won't know what to do with Jeff Hardy. But there's already so many tag teams in this overstocked roster. They don't know how to do both of them. They had a choice to hire them. So, whatever. Anyway, next we have Thunder Rosa defeating Britt Baker. And a pretty solid match on AEW. They had some good chair shots, good cage spots. The thumbtacks were awesome. When Thunder Rosa did her Michinoku driver into the thumbtacks, that looked real, bro. Mine's a little intense. Tacks always make for a pretty good wrestling spot, though. But it was a good match. I'm really surprised that Britt Baker lost because, so like I said last week, in my opinion, she's only there because Adam Cole is there, so you keep Britt Baker happy. Cole ain't doing nothing. But now you get the belt off of her, which is deserving, though, because Thunder Rosa's a good wrestler. She earned her mark there. We got one or two women on the whole AEW roster that deserve a championship. Talking about you, Jade. You are no good. Good as a champion. You cannot be a champion when you can't wrestle. And you can't wrestle. I know a lot of you guys really high up on Jade. I'm just telling you guys like it is. I don't care how you look and how you talk. If you can't wrestle, you shouldn't be champion. And you can't even talk. You literally have a guy doing all your mouth work for you. And then use the Glam Slam as your finishing move. Somebody to tell you you ain't no Beth Phoenix. I don't care if you popped it or not. You're a horrible wrestler. And you should drop that belt. Drop that belt to Ruby. Cause at least Ruby won't touch a freaking arm drag. They say that AEW wants to promote a women's division. You need women who can actually work. And not these clowns that keep hiring every week to push their company. Like Jade and Red Velvet. Like all these other girls. Bunny's okay, I guess. but she still ain't all that great. But Thunder Rosa being champion is a good step forward. So let me say AEW did that right. Moving on to SmackDown. Last night it was a kind of a bland show. It really focused more on Brock Lesnar and Rome and on anything else. We had a couple of spots with Austin Theory and Pat McAfee to start a feud up, but it seemed a little lost in the little segment part because I felt like both of them were talking about different things that one did a show will, I guess. But the highlight was when Brock Lesnar decided to call himself the bipolar beast. Like, what is that? Who calls himself that? That's why you need Paul Haven to do your for you. So you don't say dumb stuff like that. Anyway, it was a good show, but I feel like the crazy, maniacal bad guy chasing the other bad guy has been done a million times. Stone Cold started doing it way before all these guys. There's just no creative there. Everybody does the same thing. Stone Cold does. I don't know why you're rehashing all these segments this close to WrestleMania. If you want to make this big match between Brock and Roman, just let them fight. You gotta go out there and talk smack. Let them fight every week. And that'll build up more hype. They build out tractors and park lifts for the fight. That made no sense. The Ronda Charlotte feud didn't really build much more to it. And maybe they'll add a weapon stipulation since Charlotte keeps bringing out kendo sticks and throwing people in cars. I know, but the thing, Charlotte and Ronda could be probably one of the better matches on WrestleMania, but it needs a bit more work in the storyline department. But then, of course, I see that, and then we get this feud with Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin, which makes no sense. Drew's a three-time WWE champion, and you're putting him at WrestleMania against Happy Corbin, who has yet to be a main event champion. He's held, big card titles, yeah. But Drew's a big guy, Drew deserves that spotlight. He deserves that WrestleMania big spotlight moment. That's not happening at WrestleMania against Happy Corbin. I don't see Drew against Corbin. I'd be really surprised if Corbin wins. But with the current booking of WrestleMania, maybe a Corbin win is the surprise it needs. Make it a decent show. Won't know in less than a week. Or less than 2 weeks. No, a week now. We'll know at WrestleMania. One of them days. And then last but not least, we're going to end tonight's episode talking about something that annoys the ever living son. Why do we have freaking giant? Why do we have giant seal on this stupid card against Sami Zayn? There's one thing to put Pat McAfee because he can actually wrestle. He's practiced enough to where he can hold off a good 15-minute, 20-minute match with a little help. But it's Johnny Knoxville. He's known for jackass. He's not a wrestler. Sami Zayn's a wrestler. And a damn good wrestler. So why are you putting these guys? Johnny Knoxville and Logan Paul when you're a big show. The biggest show of the year. You're wasting card time. You're wasting spots. Giving celebrities their dream of being on the card. That makes no sense to me. That's doing that is on the same line as what AEW does every week. Absolutely nothing. So why are you putting Sami Zayn, who is a former champion, and two different brands against Jackass's store? This makes no sense. I'll tell you that. Sami Zayn moved him up, hit the haluva, hit cocky, not the pinfall. He's gonna pull him back up. Referee's gonna turn around. Knoxville's gonna low blow him. And referee's gonna count it. And he just embarrassed. Sami Zayn again. Gave Johnny Knoxville company. Johnny Knoxville a win and making a company look like the biggest loss there is on the biggest show of the year. I don't know what WWE is doing. As far as just, I know they're depressing right now. So I have like a week left to build up hype. And I hope they do it. So we'll keep an eye out. And next week will probably be the final week of many matches being added. So I'll be here next week with more wrestling news and WrestleMania predictions. Predictions. Sorry, I can't talk. Anywho, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my YouTube. Thank you all for the support. See you all next week. Next week live on Twitch. Bye guys.